Hello and welcome to session 0 of Alonesy. All roads lead to me. That subtitle is still tentative. I'm workshopping it still. And this is a new thing that I am trying on this channel and in real life as well. We are going to be playing TTRPG solo, and this is going to be the first kind of podcast style content that I will do. I have nothing yet for visuals right now because it is session 0, or maybe I'll have something, I'll think about it. But it's gonna be made with just audio in mind. Eventually, maybe I will put some visuals like maps or just some things for vibe, but it will be a little bit of a low production podcast because I'm not a professional. I can't edit music into it or sound effects, and it's all gonna be a one-woman show. The context is I want to play TTRPGs, but it's so hard to schedule with friends or actually find friends who would be interested. So, hey, that never stopped me before. I've always been playing single player RPGs and like video games in real life. And hey, this isn't that different, right? The thing is, I have to work my brain harder a bit. I have to squeeze my brain for some more creativity, I guess. And it's good. It's good for the brain, I would say. I get to practice a lot of muscles that I probably haven't used in a while because I'm mostly just, passively consuming. And here, we are still consuming content, but we are also like taking part in shaping the world and the characters. I won't be having a custom or homebrew world. I will be starting with official Adventures of Dungeons and Dragons. I have something in mind already, and I have a skeletal plot. Obviously, the dice will decide if everything happens or if it doesn't happen, but I have like some sort of structure or adventures that I want to do. So, yeah, let us discuss the background or like my inspirations for the world or the characters, I guess, because in terms of the world, I'm going to be basic, at least in the beginning, and we're just going to set it in the Forgotten Realms, the world of D&D. But I don't want to keep I don't want to restrict myself to D&D. That's why I'm just going to say like TTRPGs in general, because I am aware of other like solo possible TTRPGs like Shadow Dark or Ironsworn, but the thing is I'm the most familiar with D&D because it is, well, the most popular, and I have consumed the most content about it. But I will try the others eventually, and maybe I'll keep it in the same podcast style, but like a different title or a different subtitle or something like that. Okay, without further ado, let's discuss my characters. I am gonna be the DM or GM, and I also initially will have 3 characters, 3 PCs. This is gonna be a challenge. You're gonna see me have a split personality, I guess. Oh, how rude of me. I didn't even realize that I haven't introduced myself yet. Hello, I am Via. Welcome to this channel. If you are an existing viewer, listener, subscriber, whatever you call it, welcome back. Thank you for checking out this new thing that I'm trying. If you're new here, hello, welcome. I hope you like it here, even if it's been just a minute. And yeah, I usually do gameplay commentary, and this is basically that. It's just that we read everything else. And I tend to read everything else as well whenever I do my story playthrough of video games. So this one, like I said, we'll just have to be more creative about it. And I get to practice my narrative skills, my ability to paint word pictures, which I admit I'm not very good at. So that is also one goal that I have for this. It's to improve the skills that is needed for this type of thing. And so yes, please be nice. I am not very descriptive. I'm very basic, but I'm very basic in terms of how I describe things, but I will do my best. I will try. And yes, so this is like some sort of self improvement thing as well. Okay, so as I was saying, one of my main inspirations for my characters and my concept for this storyline, I guess I should say, would be Doctor Who. So I wanted something light for now, a bit more episodic. I haven't resolved an overarching plot yet. I have some sort of idea and like some options that I'm juggling, but nothing is set in stone. But I do want like an episodic kind of Doctor Who House MD fringe kind of thing where it's like new monster of the week or case of the week kind of thing. I love Doctor Who. I watched it a lot growing up along with Sherlock and uh, I can't remember what else, but you know, those two I think are definitely one of my favorites. And you will see a huge influence of it in what I'm going to be trying to do here. And I know this isn't unique. A lot of people have probably tried this already, but I am going to be using a lot of the plot devices and um, plot points that they use in Doctor Who to keep him alive, to keep the adventure going, that is. But we have some limitations as well. I will also be yoinking the idea of a TARDIS and how original. I'm just gonna change like a few letters and I'm gonna call it a farbus. It's a bus that goes far. And it's just a plot device that I want available for me to explore other planes or worlds or even um, timelines and still use the same characters I have, or like some of them at least. So it's a cross between the TARDIS and the Astral Express from Honkai's Star Rail. So it's like you can go anywhere, like any planet in the universe or in any time, in any plane, but it has fuel needs. And I don't know if I should discuss this here because I wanted to start in the middle of something for session one. So I guess I'll just say it here and I'll just reiterate it. Um, it's very arbitrary, but I want it to run on like story energy. And it is fueled by quote unquote stories. And that's why our trio will be, well, one of the reasons why our trio will be adventuring. Oh, shit, sorry, that was a meow. I don't know if you heard it, but that was my Pomodoro timer. Hang on. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, and in order for them to travel to different planes or worlds or timelines, eras, they need a certain amount of this story energy that isn't quantified. Again, it's arbitrary. It's like I can leave when I feel like they can leave, but within the Sword Coast, where we will start our adventure, spoiler alert, they can like the Farbus, and that's my name again for the TARDIS X Astral Express. It can travel between the major thoroughfares at least, and I wanted, so you know how the TARDIS has this like chameleon cloaking device thing, and also there's the, I think, yeah, that's what it's called, where it looks like a police public call box, a blue police public call box, but if it is transported to Pompeii at the time of the Mount Vesuvius eruption, it's just gonna look like a regular structure there, like a piece of marble, maybe. So that's, we are also gonna be yoinking that idea, and it's gonna be a silo, or like, you know, those like windmill looking things, either a silo or that, outside of a city. So if we're going somewhere near Baldur's Gate, it's just going to be outside of the gates of Baldur's Gate, going to be outside the gates of Waterdeep, outside Candlekeep, outside Neverwinter, what have you. And for the minor traveling, like our adventurers would still have to do the regular travel shit. And speaking of Candlekeep, I have a plan for that, but we'll cross the bridge when we get there. Okay, so our adventures. This is Doctor Who is not my only inspiration. Believe it or not, I'm gonna be making a Doctor Who X Powerpuff Girls crossover. There are a lot of trios in media. You can take the Golden Trio for Harry Potter. You can also take, well, you know, the one I'm doing right now, Powerpuff Girls. There's also the Totally Spies. There's a lot. I think like three is a good number to have for, you know, a troublemaking group, an adventuring party, what have you. Kind of like, the Three Musketeers, the Three Stooges. I have to update my driver. Destiny's Child, the Jonas Brothers. What else? Anyway, you know, but I am basing it on the Powerpuff Girls, and we're not just basing the number of characters there are. I am also basing their archetypes, like personalities, and it's gonna be so much fun. I'm excited just thinking about it. So we're gonna have Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, but they won't be named that. And of course, they're gonna be all grown up, and they're not quote unquote siblings. It's just mainly their personality and their dynamic that I'm getting. And also, Blossom is gonna be gender bent. Blossom is gonna be a guy. We're gonna see a guy version of Blossom, and I love them. My favorite will be Bubbles, but honestly, their dynamic is perfect, perfect. And I'll go in depth in the story, of course. I'm not gonna say their whole spiel and their whole story here. But, oh, just to also put a disclaimer, their backstories are also tentative and nothing is set in stone yet. So I guess this is the Session Zero prologue part. So, like, one day they just woke up inside the Farbus with no recollection of how they got there. And it was the first time that they met each other. But they have a sense of identity. They know who they are, they know their names, they haven't forgotten, like, their personal information, or at least the basic ones. They do not remember, or at least it's very hazy for them to try to think and remember where they grew up, where they came from, and I think we'll resolve that as the story goes on, because I'm still figuring out how to tie that in if I'm gonna be doing like adventures, officially published adventures. But what I'm thinking is, again, nothing is set in stone, so this isn't like a set spoiler. They're having, along with those hazy memories, or lack thereof, they're also having these strange memories of them like going to places that they're sure they haven't been before, or doing things that they haven't done before. And I think it's just like a wibbly wobbly timey-wimey thing, wherein they're seeing a glimpse of things that their other selves have done in another timeline or in another universe. So it's very complex, but these are the shit that I like in books and in TV shows, and I know I cannot be creative and make something up like that. So we're just yoinking my favorite parts, my favorite themes from my favorite media that I have consumed. And we'll see how it works out. Again, I can change it. Maybe they just forgot it because of a spell and they're just all from the Sword Coast. Who knows? Who knows what I'll settle on. But for now, that's what I have, like, cooking inside my head. So, shall I say their names? I'll introduce them, of course, in session 1, the official start. But they're gonna be like Beyonce. They'll only have one name for now. No family names yet. I don't know. I don't know yet. Let's see. Maybe when they remember where they came from, I'll give them a family name each. So Blossom. So you know how it's Blossom, Bubbles, Buttercup. They're all bees. Well, we'll take it one step further. They're all C's, the three C's. So Calum, so that is the Blossom inspired personality. Celestine, the Bubbles inspired personality, and Cinna, the Buttercup inspired personality. Should I say their classes and their races? I think that's fair. Maybe I should. Okay, so, and I also have like their whole personalities written out as in bullets, like their MBTI and shit. I got a little bit carried away with the prep. I did this for like a week and I've been over analyzing shit. And in my head, I'm already playing it, but I haven't even actually started. So beware when you're stuck in that kind of headspace, because that's how you get burnt out, like before you even start. So thankfully, I'm starting to record session 0 right now. So let's start with Cinna, my Buttercup export. I wanted her to be an Earth Genasi, and she's gonna start as a fighter, but I wanted to make her a rogue as well. So maybe she'll multi-class like in the later levels, but she's gonna be a fighter. And early levels fighters are very, very good. She is of a chaotic neutral alignment. I wanted her to have like a bit of a Karlach personality from Baldur's Gate 3, but not as Golden Retriever. So of course, Buttercup, tough. But her MBTI is ESTP, and these are like some keywords for her. She is pragmatic, confrontational, willful, self-confident. She has a resting bitch face, sassy, is quite cynical or pessimistic, very bold, and is a risk taker. And I think that's good enough for the one word ish adjectives for them. Then next we have Calum, or the Blossom gender bent Blossom export. I wanted to have him as a Kalashtar, but I don't know, I just settled to have him as a high elf paladin because I couldn't get the Kalashtar stats, and I didn't want to have a hard time creating character sheets. He's gonna be a lawful good or lawful neutral. I think lawful good. I think I'll settle on lawful good. And he's a ginger. Oh yeah. Well, the um character basic. So Buttercup has black hair, but since by Buttercup I mean Cinna, she's an Earth Genasi. She has like the green looking earth, semi scaly, semi mosaic looking cracked glass. I cannot explain it. Like I said, I'm struggling to describe in more words than I can, but that kind of skin, kind of like lava is flowing through the cracks of green marble ish, what have you. And she has like this very cool chopped black haircut, pseudo wolf cut, maybe. And then we were with Calum, a ginger or a redhead, because Blossom's a ginger or a redhead. And he looks like a paladin, when you think of a paladin, that's what he looks like. He can have short hair, like maybe short wavy hair or mid-length wavy hair. And he is an ENTJ. I'm going to try to emulate Finon for him as his personality. He is decisive, realistic, success-oriented, driven, born to lead, sometimes bossy, likes following rules, lawful, over-analytical. So, and he is a high achiever. And then lastly, we have our bubbles export. So Celestine, but that's a mouthful, so I'm planning to on having the group just call her Celine, but her full name is Celestine. I wanted her to be an Aasimar bard. I actually wanted to start out as a sorcerer, but I started out as a bard instead, and then I'll multi-class into a sorcerer eventually. This is what I did for my Baldur's Gate playthrough. In the game, so I'm comfortable like with some of the spells, or like at least the rotations. I know it's gonna be different, but at least there's a little bit of familiarity there. Again, I've actually never played D&D until I started this, so it's gonna be a learning process, but it's gonna be really fun. She is blonde. Her hair is gonna be like platinum blonde or really ashy ice blonde, kind of like Elsa or Daenerys Targaryen. She is neutral good, and I'm gonna try to emulate Navia's personality for her. Very optimistic, and she always looks for a diplomatic or peaceful solution. She's the empath of the group, and for her voice, I actually want to try to emulate Mona Magistus from Genshin, or Nicole Rain from Genshin as well. Let's see what I settle on. She's an INFP. She's loyal, idealistic, curious, and hates conflicts. Cinna, our buttercup export, is confrontational. She is the opposite. She is non confrontational. She is very caring, a peacemaker, a dreamer, and creative. She is a bard. So she likes expressing herself through art and, stuff like that. So, and she has like long, flowing, ash blonde hair. Oh, I guess I only just described their hair, but you know the vibe. Picture them however you want. Um, I did use, just a disclaimer, because it is a gray area. I did use like generative AI for me to visualize them further, and because it is a gray area, and I also feel like in a gray area about it too. I'm not gonna be showing the images that I have of them, but I just describe them in like how I see them. But in when we have like combat and stuff like that, I'll have them on tokens or like icons, just little ones. I won't be like displaying a full picture of them, just because, like I said, it is not real art that I can credit to someone. So it's just like, for remembering where they are on the screen if ever I do decide to have like battle maps on the screen. But if you're an audio only listener, then that's not going to be a problem for you. So yeah, they're just going to be little circles or icons there. I'm not going to be showing the whole thing. And what else? What else should I talk about? So when they woke up inside the Farbus with very confused, we're not gonna start here. We're gonna start like maybe 6 months after, where when they have already been traveling and adventuring together, and they have known each other for a little bit. They're not like super BFFs, but they're a team. They can work together well, and I guess they're just working together to figure out what they got themselves into and looking for reasons why they woke up in that weird vessel that um, looks foreign to them, maybe, but not really. And it's weird that it doesn't feel alien to them. Like they might have seen this kind of thing before. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, we will be starting when they already know each other, which is great. They have a synergy and a dynamic already. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to have an excuse to skip through time and places and realities so we can do as much adventures as we can. With that being said, these three won't always be together. I'll run adventures with just two of them sometimes, or maybe even just on their own individual quests or adventures. And they'll probably, most likely, have their own sidekicks, maybe new player characters that I'll have in rotation. We'll have a spin off, or just, other NPCs. Nothing's really an NPC when you're playing all the characters, but, just to distinguish from our main cast. So yeah, things are going to be very interesting and random. I'll be using some random generators. I'll be using the DM Yourself guide, the Solo Adventurers Toolkit, and some of the other stuff, like the triple O's player, like when I'm having trouble deciding what I think they should do or what I think their personality will lead them to do. We'll use like those guides. I'll try to link stuff in the description if I remember. So, just a little bit of a spoiler. We're gonna start off with Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Solely because I like the idea of having a tavern early. I'm sorry if this is metagaming, but I will do the actual Dragon Heist arc with some of oh god, I can't speak, sorry, with some of the quests from the official anthologies in between that I can fit before we reach the point of no return. I have read a little bit of Dragon Heist just to know how I can structure it or where I can insert some other quests or adventures. I guess that's one thing that is difficult to avoid when you're playing on your own and you're using solo adventures. It's you can't 100% avoid spoilers, but still, the dice will help tell the story and maybe maybe we'll fail. Oh, another plot device that I really like from Doctor Who is the regeneration. So they have an excuse to hire another actor to play the Doctor, and the series just keeps going and they just keep earning money, you know. So here, I'm not going to be abusing it that much. Where was it? I have it in my notes here. So, you know how the Time Lords, the Doctor has two hearts? So I'm basing it on that. If one of my characters die, like fully die, and are not revivified or not revived within the time frame needed, their body has to be brought back to the Farbus, and they will be out of commission. They can't do adventures for a while. I don't know yet how long, like a few sessions, but they can be regenerated and revived with a consequence and a physical mark, maybe like a scar, or their hair changes color, their eye changes color, or something, you know. And I haven't decided yet. Hopefully, it doesn't happen soon. And they'll also take maybe a debuff or like a skill decrease somewhere, something like that. I'm basing it on Call of Cthulhu. I'm not sure if they have this there because I don't remember if I'm mixing actual play uh, content in my head. But for sure in Candela Obscura, they have this. So kind of like that. And also taking inspiration from Candela Obscura. I only actually watched that in the Critical Role channel. So I haven't seen other actual plays for it, but it was really fun. My favorite arc was with Spencer Stark as a GM, and they have Brennan Lee Mulligan in the cast as a player as well. And that was so good. That was like my favorite performance. And I love how Spencer GM'd. It's like very cinematic. So maybe I'll try to yoink that style as well. Let's see. I won't overdo it. um, like I said, please bear with me. I am not a writer. It is hard for me to describe things, to paint a word picture, but I will try. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. This regeneration can only happen twice. After the second time, they can decide to retire and live their own life in a plane of their choosing. Maybe become a patron for the next set of adventures if they still want to be involved in this life. Something like that. I don't know. We're not this is not I'm not gonna be brutal about it, but yeah, that's death, quote unquote death. Maybe I'll find some sort of plot device why it's like that. Maybe I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll let it stew inside my head for a while. All right. So, like I said, it's going to be episodic for now, like your detective shows or X Files, House MD, Doctor Who. But once I've gone through maybe half of the published adventures that I want to do, because there's a lot that I want to do from official D&D and from third-party sources. Um, maybe I'll be more comfortable with this thing, and I'll consider making my own story and or world and or adventures. But yeah, like I said, not just D&D. I also want to try other TTRPG solo. So maybe I'll just put that in another series or in another like podcast series. But I don't know what else I can say for session 0. Huh. I think that's going to be it. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you all in session 1. See you in Waterdeep. Bye.